The fortune of the sea, thus illustrated, has been that of this nation in the past. It has its records in a few books, and in at least one popular tale. In Devonshire, where once Sir Francis Drake lived, they used to show, and perhaps still show, a famous cannon ball, the story of which I will now try to tell you. Before Sir Francis put to sea, he told his love, "My dear, when I am gone, you wait for me, though you wait for 7 years." His love, who was redder than the rose and sweeter than the May, said, "I will wait till summer snows and winter fields bear hay." Sir Francis went aboard his ship. Her sails were sheeted home. The water gurgled at her lip and whitened into foam. And months went by, but no more word came from that roving soul than comes from the mother carey bird that nests at the South Pole. In the 7th year, men gave up hope and swore that he was dead. They had the bell tolled with the rope and the burial service read. His love, who was redder than the rose, mourned for him long and long. But even grief for a lover goes when life is running strong. And many a man beset her way who thought it paradise to look at her lovely eyes and say that her eyes were stars, not eyes. And so she promised a noble man ere the 9th year crop was hauled, and before the harvest home began, her marriage banns were called. The wedding day came bright and fair, the bells rang up and down, the bridesmaids in their white were there, and the parson in his gown. The rosy bride came up the aisle, the page boys bore her train. She stood by the groom a little while, to be made one out of twain. No one of all within the church thought of Sir Francis Drake. A crash made the transept columns lurch, and the central tower quake. A cannon ball came thundering by, between the bride and groom. The girl said, "Francis wonders why there is someone in his room. Francis is homing from the seas. He has sent this message here. And I'd rather be wife to Francis, please, than the lady of a peer." Ere the priest could start his task again, a man rushed in to say, "Here's Drake, with all the wealth of Spain. His ships are in the bay." Then the noble said, with courtly grace, "It would be a wiser plan if I let Sir Francis take my place, and I will be best man."